Hey, you guys. Well, as the video description says it, I decided to make this video for all of you who right now may be going through something hard in life. And perhaps you need to hear a couple of the things that I have to say. First of all, I have to confess, this is the hardest video. It's very personal. And even though I am a person who's very open to speak up, and I've always verbalized how I feel, and I've always been an advocate for people to talk and express how they feel, still, this one hits real hard because it's my absolute personal story in life, but I want to share it because there may be people out there going through the same thing, or who experienced something similar. And I want to be somehow a, a person who can help out if I can help out in any way, uh, because it definitely feels as something that I personally need right now. That is someone who you can relate to. Not always when we go through hard things in life, we have someone next to us who can empathize entirely with our situation or who can understand us completely. Mostly because for certain aspects of life and for certain issues or problems, you really need someone who's been there and understands what you're going through. Otherwise, I don't think you can understand. That's why I'm making this video for all of you out there. If you have been through something like this, or if you're going through something like this, maybe this video can help you to feel a little bit better or to help you understand the emotions you're going to go through a little bit better. So, another reason why I decided to make this video was because the last YouTube video that I actually posted was about the twin pregnancies, that it was a situation I was going through. And as you could see in that video, I was very happy and nothing really serious was going on other than the happiness of bringing our two baby girls safe to this side of life. So, as a teacher, in this video, not only you're gonna maybe learn some vocabulary on what we call grief, which is basically the suffering that people go through when they lose something. Um, and I hope if you watch it from that perspective, that you learn something valuable for incorporating into your life, words that maybe one day could have an impact on the people around you and can have an impact on how you empathize with those people or even yourself. I hope not, anyway. So, guys, what happened was that on February the 6th, we went for a regular ultrasound checkup that we were very much expecting because we still didn't know the gender of our twins. So we were really waiting for this ultrasound to happen. So we grabbed our three kids, took the van, and drove all the way to our healthcare provider to get ourselves checked in for this ultrasound. As soon as we were admitted for the ultrasound, so I lay down on the bed, and the technician who was responsible for making this ultrasound, as soon as he started screening, he said, "Well, there's something real bad going on. Things are not coming well." Obviously, we were frozen. The next words he says is, "One of the babies doesn't have a heartbeat anymore." From that moment and on, to be frankly honest with all of you, I don't remember what else he said. I don't know what happened really. I think that was the moment when I absolutely lost all kinds of connection with what was actually happening. I very much kind of felt like I faded into nothingness, and I don't know what he said next. Thank God my husband was there to listen to the whole thing and soak in every piece of information he was giving us, which I later asked him about. Um, all we know, all we knew until that point was that one of our babies, uh, both girls, by the way, had a condition called hydrops. If you are pregnant with twins, I would like for you to know this. Hydrops is a condition in which one of your babies develops this really bad case of anemia, fetal anemia, which leads to swelling in their bodies. They develop a lot of fluid, whether that's on the heart, the lungs, the abdomen, all across our bodies, basically. This usually is a fatal condition in children, and um, sometimes some kids are lucky and they make it through it, but it's very unlikely usually. By the time we took that ultrasound, the baby had been already dead for what we know now was about 2 weeks or 3 tops. Because we were on week 21 when we went for the ultrasound, so that was halfway through the pregnancy, almost entering 6 months, 5 months and a half, you would say. And um, so this is a big baby already, meaning that they can't really do anything about it. The other baby was just fine. She had a regular heartbeat. Every aspect that covered the ultrasound just drew that she was just thriving. Um, she seemed to be doing okay. But as you can imagine, from that moment and on, we were basically, we just started with all this waterfall of testing, which we had to, go to the doctor 3 or 4 times just to get done. And so we started getting admitted for all these tests. First to check on my blood, as I have an Rh negative factor. And the first thing they told me, look, there's pretty much like 4 reasons why this could happen. But we've seen your previous ultrasounds and they look good. Then the other one could have been a cytomegalovirus, which I already had with my previous baby, my last pregnancy. My son I caught a cytomegalovirus. For those of you who don't know what it is, when you're just going about your life, that virus isn't uh, bad for a well-developed person or child. Now, for an adult, that is. Now, when you're a baby in the womb, so this virus can pass through the placenta onto the baby, enter their nervous system, and basically uh, destroy as much as they can destroy. And this type of viruses, they are common viruses. It just gives you pretty much like the symptoms of a flu if you're, again, an adult or a kid. But if you're a bit developing baby, that can either kill you or give you a lot of complications after birth. And other than that, the other option was that this could have been a parvovirus B19. Parvovirus is a virus, another kind of virus, very common also, even more common, that causes nothing on adults. If you're an adult and you get parvovirus, you're not going to have symptoms. It's very unlikely that you do. Your joints may hurt a little bit or something like that, but you could definitely assume that that's just a, humidity issue or, you know, whatever else. Perhaps your age or something. But it doesn't really do a thing on a healthy adult. You never think of a virus. I really, off the top of my head, I really didn't think it was a virus. Well, so we got all this series of testing going on. Everything was coming back clear. All the test results were coming perfect. The blood samples showed nothing in particular. My defenses were very good. My red cells count was really good. The Rh negative factor of my blood was not the problem. So we're just discarding and discarding. Cytomegalovirus was not the problem, which was great because I did experience that one in my last pregnancy, as I told you. And my baby was hospitalized for a entire month due to cytomegalovirus, which again, you get it like a flu. Um, and then the last test to come was the parvovirus B19, which came back positive. So we got the results back and both came positive for parvovirus. So now we knew that what killed one of our daughters was this virus. So personally, yeah, I haven't been making any videos at all or responded to a lot of requests. We had a lot of teachers that were going to start a process for beginning classes with us. They were getting into the onboarding process. I got a lot of people sending me messages like, why are you not answering messages? That's disrespectful, this and that. I was just going through the worst moment of my absolute entire life. We are, as a family, all of us are suffering and dealing with the loss of one of our daughters that sadly, in today's world, if you are someone who's never been pregnant, or if you're a man, maybe you have no idea what losing a baby is like. Because sadly, for the most of those people who have never been either pregnant or experienced a pregnancy, you really don't know how important for a woman, a baby that is on his way towards being born healthy imply. It implies that for for us it's the same as that newborn baby that you're receiving in your hands, with the difference that it's out of the body or inside of the body. It doesn't really make a difference for a pregnant woman at 6 months of pregnancy if the baby is in or out, because we can feel them move around us. We can touch them. We can play with them. We can learn their schedules. I know my daughter's schedule perfectly well as of right now. I know what times she likes to wake up because she knows I have breakfast or lunch, and she's pretty much like moving around like, hey, when are we going to eat something? Um, Babies in the womb can hear the mother's voice at this point. They can taste through the placenta some of the foods you eat. So they even may develop a taste for certain kind of foods. Perhaps a lot of people don't know that. They can identify different voices. They can open and close their eyes and see their surroundings. They start mimicking laughter. They start mimicking crying because they are basically developing all this perception and all this consciousness that it's going to lead them towards survival after they are outside. So no, it's not a project of a baby. It's a baby. And it's really hard. It's really difficult to have to even explain that to some people. But I've had to explain to some people who thought that what happened to us is just no big deal. It's a bummer, and we just have to move on. Of course, we will move on because we have an entire family behind us, and we have three amazing children and two baby girls that, even though one of them is not here present with us anymore, she was our life project. She was our future. She was the future of this family. Her name was Astrid. She's going to continue being called by her name in our family household as a present memory and not just as something to not talk about. Because the things we don't talk about just burst right on our faces eventually. And my children, along with our entire core, loved these two baby girls, and we were absolutely delighted to have two girls coming into our lives. We had already bought them. We waited 4 months. We waited some serious 4 months and a half, I think, to buy the girls clothing or, baby stuff because we were precisely afraid that something could go wrong. And we were so afraid of that we decided to be precautious and not, do any of that until we were sure that things were going the right direction. And things were going the right direction. Last time we had a checkup with our doctor before this ultrasound, both babies' heartbeats were perfect. So we started buying them clothes. We started doing a lot of things. And after receiving this news, we had to process everything from receiving the news. Casually, we also received the news on the same day that we just got a package sent home from a purchase we had done weeks before with every little thing for two babies. Every piece of clothing, every element that we needed for when they were born, we just had it sent over uh, the same day. It arrived the same day that we received the news of what killed her. So that was also another mountain to climb. I have all her clothing packed, and I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do about that. A lot of people go like, "Oh, you just have, twice the clothing for your other girl." And sometimes I would just wish to tell people to please sometimes just don't say nothing, because sometimes just because you want to be positive and you want to say something that you consider smart or practical or helpful, sometimes you may be hurting other people because this was not meant for Sigrid, my other daughter. This was meant for Astrid. She's not replaceable. So nothing is replaceable. And I think that respect has been so hard it's been real hard receiving comments from people. You really have to do some meditation to try to understand that these people mean well, and they are not, you know, they're not trying to harm you. They're just trying to do good. And so they say the first thing that comes to their heads. But in reality, a lot of the time, what they're saying is hurtful and they don't know because nothing replaces a child who died. Nothing. And you can't just put that under the carpet and you can't sweep it under the carpet and act like it didn't happen or pretend the other person to just stay positive and be okay day overnight because there's a huge process where every little area, every aspect that we covered or projected for our daughter is absolutely broken right now. And we had already had plans of what school we were planning on taking them to, how we were gonna organize the house around them, how we were going to organize our work, the family life, our leisure time, our trips that we love traveling. And we were thinking, okay, we're both just gonna get, like baby seats and try to see if we can, like take them either in one car or the two cars or how we're gonna go about it. All of it was considered towards the future. And it was never one of them, it was the twins. I don't believe in casualties. I think that there's something really, really big going on out there. I'm a strong believer. And I think that I don't I don't know if everything happens for a reason or not. I think that's beyond our understanding. But when we were trying to figure out how we were gonna call the girls, and we didn't know they were girls by then, I just came up with two names. As you could see, I've been calling them two names out of nowhere, which were basically, they just came to me. So I just decided that we were going to call them Astrid and Sigrid, which are two Nordic names. Same thing happened to me before again. After all this thing just happened, we started searching for the meaning of the names. And Astrid means uh, a gift to the gods or a divine gift for the gods. And Sigrid means a divine victory. Also, most of you know my name is Victoria, right? But also, I see victory on the other side of the spectrum, not just the name spectrum, but the actual meaning of the noun victory. And I just am baffled at realizing that this is what we got. Life, right? So, well, um, this is just something I wanted to share with all of you, so that you could have more clear picture on what we are going through. And if it helps, again, as I said before, if it helps someone, if you're out there and you're going through grief or you have lost an infant or a baby, a newborn or an unborn child, I just want to reach out and tell you that you're not alone, that it's very important to know that there are other people who've been through the same, as we feel more empathic towards people that have gone through the same. So that's all for today, guys.